Okay, so in this video, we're just going to talk a little bit about incremental static regeneration. So essentially what it is it allows you to create or update static pages after you've built your site. So essentially it enables you to use static generation on a per page basis without needing to rebuild the entire site. So you can basically retain the benefits of having a static site while scaling to millions of pages. What we are going to do is we're going to use get static paths and get static props. So with get static props, we're essentially going to make a request to the API to get all of the data. In our case, we will make a request to the drinks API. So we'll make a request to slash drinks slash the ID, which in turn would deliver the individual ID of the drinks. Once we have done that and got the static props, we will then get the static paths. We'll essentially calculate how many IDs there are from our API. So in total, there will be 28 different drinks that we will get the paths for. So essentially, we're fetching the data and we're fetching the amount of data, and then we will be delivering that to the page. Once we have got static paths, this function gets called at build time on the server side. It may be called again on a serverless function if the path has not been generated. So what that means is at the moment we have 28 different coffees. If we, for example, added another 10, what would happen is when the user accesses the other 10, so if I get extra coffees populated after Earl Grey tea and I clicked on them, it would pre-build that page and then add it to the Next.js cache. So it won't need to refetch that page again because it's already in the cache. The get static paths we want to pre-render based on post will pre-render only these paths at build time. Fallback blocking will render server render pages on demand and if the path doesn't exist. So going up to get static props, and when we add the revalidate feature, what that means is Next.js will attempt to regenerate the page when either when a request comes in or at the most every 10 seconds. Normally, when we deploy the app, that page is static, therefore, that page is stale. And the only time that page gets updated is when we redeploy again. The revalidate feature will attempt to regenerate the page in the time frame that we specify. So that could be 10 seconds, 100 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it may be. So what we are essentially going to be doing is getting the static props, fetching the data for all of our drinks, and then we also fetching the amount of drinks that we have, serving it up together, and then delivering it out onto the drinks page. So to summarize, when the request is made to the page that was pre-rendered at build time, it will initially show the cached page, any requests to that page after the initial request, and before 30 seconds are also cached instantaneously. So this is regarding the revalidate feature. After the 10-second window, the next request will show the cached stale page. After the 10 seconds though, Next.js then triggers the regeneration of the page in the background. Once a page has successfully been generated, it will then replace the old cache with the new cache, and then this cycle gets repeated as many times until we either cancel the website or stop the server, or unless we change the revalidate time frame. When a request is made to a path that hasn't been generated, Next.js will server render the page on the first request. Future requests will serve the static file from the cache, so meaning it won't update after that. So in the next video, we're going to begin the process of getting our static paths and our static props. We're going to create the product page also.